And here we go, we've got our first crew of the day coming in on approach. And Cap's kind of looking back as he's passed a couple open docks heading down to the end. And it looks like he's going to brake check it back up and make his way back to one of those. But welcome back, crew, to the greatest show on earth, and that is the Miami Boat Ramps channel. I'm your host, Broncos Guru, and today we are down here visiting 79th Street. So Cap's backing it up. He's got plenty of people on the boat, it looks like, to give him a hand trying to get this one onto the dock. And we almost lose our girl as he went back into gear, and the girl on the end kind of stumbled on that one for a moment. So we're gonna turn in, brake checks it up again. And our girl's hanging on for sure, trying to grab a line, and oh man, this kid's gotta move. The one that's up here, legs hanging over, about to put himself in between the dock and the boat. That is an absolutely horrible place to be as we're coming in on approach to the dock. So it looks like the ladies are sharing one line, so we're gonna do the single line method. Our kid does fortunately move out of the way. And Cap comes in with the soft touch here at the end, it looks like. And we're gonna try and get it on with the one line. Somebody has to explain this one line approach to me. It just doesn't seem like the most efficient. Yeah, I'm just gonna throw it over a couple pilings, but it doesn't seem like the best way to keep it close to the dock. I guess whatever works for you, though, I guess is what works, right? And in this case, it looks like it's gonna work. And I mean, I guess this is a disadvantage to having multiple lines, is having to chase them down, like our guy's doing here with the old foot grab method, as he winds up trying to get this line back up. So I guess at least our crew on the left of them with the single line never has to worry about that, right? Because those lines are all, that one line's just wrapped around several of the poles as they just pull it over. And it works in this scenario, but I guess if you're cleaning it off, it probably doesn't. So our crew's coming in on approach, and this is an interesting setup. I don't know if they custom did this interior, or this well-craft was initially set up like this. I've seen a lot of boats. I've been around the boat ramp a long time, thousands upon thousands of vessels, and I've never seen a whalecraft approach in this kind of seating arrangement setup. Let me know in the comments, do you guys think that's a custom job, or that's the way that one comes? I'll go ahead and put the QR code on the screen, guys, where you can just scan it right from the couch and go ahead and add your comment into that one. I know commenting is not the easiest thing anymore on the TV. So crew's loading up after getting it onto the dock. But this one's interesting because security's been cracking down here lately and not really letting this happen. So this crew came in. The family, the rest of the crew we see walk down the dock and they're getting on the boat. But I've watched them run numerous people off over the last couple weeks, basically saying no pickups. They've been cracking down hard down here on 79th on that. If they weren't here when you launched the boat, they weren't letting you grab them. But this crew looks like they're going to get away with it. I don't know if they launched here or not. And I still think that should be the exception to the rule. I mean, if you can prove by that you paid for parking earlier and launched here, I should be able to pick somebody up. My car's here, like, they didn't leave when I launched earlier. But my vehicle's here. I can prove my vehicle's here and trailer's here. I'm paying for it. It's the same as they would have got on the boat with me earlier. They just didn't. Here comes security, and she's going to tell them, no picking up. So Cap's coming up to hear what she's got to say as well. As our girl continues to hold the line on the bow. I mean, everybody's on now. Not much you can do. Like, I mean, if I'm captain, I'm not letting anybody get back off my boat at this point. And I wonder if Cap's telling her, hey, once again, I have no clue if they docked here, but that would be my argument. It's like, hey, we're parked here, if I was at least. But as if you watch one of the videos from just, I believe, last week even, I mean, the police were involved in everything when a crew was trying to board the boat, and they were just stopped. They were like, no. And it was what it was. They made them go. And the other option is you could still park here and walk right across the street to Pelican Harbor Marina and probably pick these people up over there, and nobody would ever be the wiser. But the conversation is still going on. I don't see anybody getting too heated about it, so she's going to let them ride. And like I mentioned, they were already on the boat by the time she got over there, so it was a little too late. But I have to imagine that was the conversation we were having, was you can't pick people up here. They need to get on your boat immediately when you launch. So they've let the lines go. Now the bow's drifting off toward the trees over here, and the stern's kicking back, but he's still got a line on the stern. I hope they catch that. And he does. He just realized that, like, there's still a line back there. I was waiting for them to take off with that line still attached to the dock. And that one could have got ugly real fast, as that bow would have kicked right back around and went into the dock. But he gets it off, and our crew's going to get out of here and be able to go out and enjoy their day on the bay. So our next crew's coming in on approach. Gotta love it when you see the life jacket on the kid. That's the way it should be done. I might be the only one, but I don't know. I've got a younger one. Anybody under the age of 10 on my boat has to wear a life jacket at every given point. Actually, the rule in my boat's always been 13. 13 and under, life jacket at all times while we're underway. So Cap's coming around, gonna go ahead and make his line toward the dock. And we've got Wifey heading up into the bow. As she's going to assist with the lines, this crew is absolutely taking that slow roll approach. Cap is definitely taking the golden rule to heart. Never approach anything any faster than you're willing to hit it. And now she stands up, so now Cap really needs to be easy on that throttle. So she goes for the first line toss, misses, line toss 2, no go. And now she's struggling with them, trying to get him over, and Cap's going to take him right out of her hand and try and get it done himself, but even he misses on his first throw. Second throw, no good. The third attempt, he kind of gets it around the pole and is able to loop it over. But I'm going to go with the method on this one. This is kind of like kicking somebody out of the seat of the truck backing down the trailer. If you're going to do so, you better nail it on the first try. And he didn't even give her 3 tries before he took it out of her hand, even though it took him 3 to get it on. So they're on now, though, and he'll get it tied up and put away. They're coming in hot. This crew is coming in pretty quickly on the dock. They do got some fenders out. I don't think that's going to help much here. They're sitting too low. And Cap brake checks it. His buddy grabs the pole and pushes off to get him set up back. I'm surprised on this one. They were coming in quick. I thought for sure they were going to smack the dock. I was waiting on it when I saw him coming up. But I think the saving grace there, yes, he brake checked it, but his buddy grabbing that pole at the right moment, as well as the brake check pushing it back off, kind of saved him on this one. But good job, Cap, you're on. So our crew is coming in as well. And Cap lines it up. Bow first approach in on the dock. And his mate is going to go for the step off, and good. We've got a line on the dock. And Cap's trying to kick some instructions, telling him to kick it out. The ladies get out there and give a little hand. What does Cap do? Why is he putting his hand on the throttle? So they've pushed it out now. Cap is still at the helm, but he's going to have to drag it back over. So lights and everything just went off. I'm assuming we've just killed the motor. At least that's what I'm guessing is going on here. But we still only have one line up there, and he's kind of drifting off. He's jumping around. I wonder if the dock's hot. Yep. If he's sitting down putting his feet on there, that was the hot dock shuffle because he forgot his shoes. So nobody else is like any real rush here to try and give this kid a hand up there. They're cleaning everything up off the boat. And he's looking down the dock at something and still kind of doing that hot dog shuffle. Oh, Cap turned the motor back on. What is he doing? So for some reason, he turned the engine back on last second. I don't know if it maybe was still on and he just kicked it into gear on accident. But I didn't see anything coming from the engine like I see now earlier. I wonder why he kicked it back on. So they're talking to somebody coming down. Or I guess they're going to have to move it. And here comes our well craft from earlier in the day. Again, a pretty unique setup on the seating still. Man, it's just, like I said earlier, I've seen a ton of boats and I've just never seen one set up like this. Kind of looks like a custom interior job. And I'm pretty sure they're missing one of the crew that was with them earlier. Let me know in the comments if I'm blind and wrong, but I'd swear there was another person on board. That was the only person on board when he came on approach earlier, and then the rest of this crew got on. So maybe he left her at the sandbar, and the officer was yelling at the wrong one about the pickup. So he's kind of holding, and our crew that just came in on the other dock is actually coming off that dock. The one we just watched come in, doing the hot dock shuffle. I'm guessing, that's a funny one. I'm guessing that the boat that's sitting in front of them over there is actually backing down. They thought they were pulling out, but instead they're coming down, so they're being asked to move. But if they're coming off, the whalecraft looks like he's considering going over there and taking the dock they were on. Anyway. Man, this truck up here on the top right corner is struggling a little bit, trying to get that trailer down as well. So things getting a little busy down here. We've got a couple boats waiting now, trying to determine where to go. So they decide, it looks like they're going to go right here on 3. Which is kind of interesting because their crew that just pulled off the other dock, I got a feeling they were pointing over to 3. They were thinking about going there. But they still look like they're even trying to get organized, and they got all the time in the world now. I mean, one thing that should be for sure done by this point in time, especially having this much time sitting here at the ramp, is Cap should be making sure all the lines, fenders, everything's ready to go, and everything's out as they're sitting here, because they're taking a long time right now, and Cap still hasn't made an approach on anything. I got to imagine the board over here on the starboard side will be a difficult one too. If you wanted to try and do a starboard side dock, that thing's going to be in the way. So he's still floating, just kind of barely misses the bow right there as it floats by the dock. I don't know why he didn't tuck in behind the one single jet ski that's over there, and I'm actually surprised security hasn't moved that jet ski. And here you can see our crew that's back off the dock, as we mentioned earlier. They struggled getting on a little bit, and now you can see exactly what I was talking about. The boat that was there on the ramp is indeed backing into the water. And all they had to do was move this far enough back that they could still launch. This particular boat here is not all that large. So Cap looks like he's struggling to figure out what to do too, but he could squeeze in behind the jet ski that's on that dock as well. And as I was mentioning, I'm actually surprised security didn't make that jet ski move. Typically, the last 4 docks, well, the last 2 on each side are kind of designated for jet skis. One of these middle docks, typically they don't allow it. So Cap, again, like our other boaters, kind of chilling, looks confused as to what he really wants to do here. about getting this one back on the dock. But as usual, sun goes down, it heats up. So after hanging out a little while longer still, finally, the jet ski that was here on the dock is going onto the trailer. Our Wellcraft is sneaking in on this one. But here's the wild part. They really are sneaking in on this one. The crew we saw come off the dock earlier, who was here before these guys, is still now waiting on a dock. They're still floating around out here. Now, I kept waiting to see if that crew member that was missing on here would pop out of the cabin or anything, but no, I'm pretty sure that person's just gone. So after all that time sent out there, the lines aren't even on the right side for Captain. He couldn't get people to do that part, but he's able to get it docked, and he's going to get it walked over on his own and get the line brought up. But here is the other boat that I mentioned earlier that was on a dock, came back off, was here before these guys, and they just got dock snaked by the Wellcraft as well. So Cap's coming in this time, but another boat's launching. Again, take the end of the dock. The boat in front of you is small. If you stay back here at the end, you'll be all right. And here you can see we've got an officer on the dock. I mean, unless for some reason he tells you to move, but I would just take it right there, just keep it on the end. They'll be fine. But no, he's going to back off for some reason and continue playing around out here, trying to figure out where to dock. Now, the kid standing here holding the bimini top is probably not the best plan either. So still taking their time, trying to determine, he's trying to see who's pulling out. Gonna try and sneak back in front of the boat that just launched where he was originally at. Kind of what it looks like. Heading back to go onto the original dock they were on from the start. So they wind up back where they originally started after doing the courtesy move to let the person launch. I'm just confused on this one as to why they didn't wait at the end of the dock. That just seems like a much easier approach versus coming off, having to move so somebody else could get launched. When in all likelihood, there was plenty of room for both boats. So we got the pro line here. Kind of, again, hanging out. Lots of people hanging out here in the evening as we got another vessel coming in right now. We've mentioned it many times. 79th Street is one of those ramps that is wild and crazy. This one gets much crazier after dark than it is when the daylight is out. I mean, you want to see some wild stuff happen, come down here to the 79th Street boat ramp around 8 or 9 o'clock after that sun sets. It's like a party in the parking lot at the boat ramp. So our crew's still trying to line up. They've been hanging out for a few minutes on this one. Cap's got this motor trimmed up awfully high, so he's losing some grip on that prop as he's trying to do this. And you can tell, too, because he's kind of all over the place with the throttle as he's trying to get this boat around. So back into forward. Got to be careful because he's hanging out this far back. He's going to get dock snaked as well, as there's several other boats that are trying to push in around him. Like we just saw the jet ski go by him. And somebody from the dock just flashed a light at him, so they're basically telling him to come over here. I can't tell if that was security or not because I wasn't really looking that way. but that was their sign saying, come to this dock. So Cap's going to come in on approach. Looking pretty solid. He goes ahead and leaves the helm. The full commit right here. Thinking he's got a good enough line. And yes, it was security over there shining the flashlight, letting him know, come on to this dock and you'll be good. And our crew is on and is good to go. And speaking of good to go, we're going to go ahead and get out of here as well. Thanks for watching, crew. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Miami Boat Ramps. If you did, please check out our other content. We have Wavy Boats, who does a bunch of great things down at the inlets. My channel, Broncos Guru, does some great comedy boating videos there as well. And of course, we got Boats vs. Haulover, where man and machine take on Mother Nature down at Haulover Inlet. And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and drop an anchor on the subscribe button here.